Good morning, friends. Welcome to morning tea. Today is the day of the week when I have my longest term martial arts student come out. And man, I always look forward to training with her. I've been training with her so long that we still have classes, but we also have just co-training where we both just train together. And it's so fun. She's so she's so strong. She teaches silks. I don't know if you know what that is, aerial silks. It's kind of a up in the sky acrobatic type of thing. And so she's super flexible, she's super strong, and also very focused, very creative, has great endurance, great technical skill, all the things I really value in a training partner. And the funnest thing is that because she's been training with me so long, and a big part of what I train people in is not just the martial skills, but is in super refined focus, that she and I can do incredibly realistic, intensive training and do it safely with each other. So we've gotten into cars and done scenario training in cars, in the woods, on slopes, in the rain, in the snow. Today I came up with this idea and kind of surprised her with it that it's never occurred to me before, even though this training tool is right there in my yard. So we have a trampoline. And I was doing some exercises yesterday, some kind of, I don't know what you call them, some rows type of things hanging from the bottom of it. And I thought, whoa, this is a really kind of narrow or low ceilinged area that she and I could train in. And I'm just excited about it because it's going to be, if you think about it, a training location that I've never experienced before. Something like you'd experience, for instance, if you were in a tunnel, which would be another really fun place to train. Because in a tunnel, especially if the tunnel was narrow enough that you can reach all the sides of it with your body, you're not just thinking the ground as your base. You've got walls and a ceiling, rounded ones, that are your base. In this case, we'll have the ground that's a base, but we'll also have a top that we can base off of in different ways. And so it takes it from, it's almost like an anti-gravity machine. And the things that I dislike most, just a flat dojo where a lot of people train just sitting there on mats all the time. It's this soft material that has very predictable amount of grip for your hands or your feet, and gravity works in one direction. When you're in a car, for instance, gravity starts to work in those three directions. You can press, this way off of something. You can press off the ceiling, and all these different tools around you. The seat belts, folding down a chair, stuffing somebody's head down into the, where your feet usually go. Under here, I'm not sure what it's going to be like. It's going to be interesting. That's what I love about training outdoors in general, is the ground's always going to be different. If you're in mud, it's going to be totally different than grass. It's going to be totally different than if you're on gravel. It's going to be totally different than if you're in the water or up in a tree. All these different things that stimulate the learning process. And this doesn't just go for martial arts. So I love this about basically any learning process. It's really fun to take it, when you're ready, out of its comfort zone. If you're or I play shakuhachi. And this may seem subtle, but if I play it inside, the wind movement is always the same. But if I'm playing it outside and there's wind, as there is today, that wind affects it when it blows past the bottom of the flute or across the mouthpiece. It affects the sound of the shakuhachi. So you have to adjust your posture, and often you're playing according to the wind. And it can start to become a dance, essentially, with the wind. I think this is essential in martial arts training. We get a really false idea of our skills when we only practice in an interior space that is essentially always the same. Now, those interior spaces change a little bit. For instance, if you're training with somebody who gets really sweaty or it's really hot in there, then you'll start to get some sweat on your hands, and that's going to affect what kinds of locks and things that you can use. But usually it's it's fairly the same. Definitely nothing like the experience of training with the sun beating down or the mosquitoes attacking you. I just love it. Any skills that you practice or train in that you have found it really advantageous to take it out of the garage? Another example, of course, is bushcraft skills. So we can learn it. We can learn a bow drill in our garage, very controlled conditions. Things are flat. We can put something, kind of a sticky surface under the board, a grippy surface. What happens then when we're trying to do it out in terrain that has bumps and is uneven and the wind's blowing? So share skills that you're learning and how you are using alternative environments or alternative situations to really learn that skill more fully. Love to you all, my friends. Talk with you in the comments.